as they led Jesus away, they grabbed Simon, a man from Cyrene, who was coming in from the countryside. They put the cross on his back and made him carry it behind Jesus. Crucifixion was a horrific experience. Yes, of course, for the one being crucified. Yes, of course, for any family who might be witness. But it was a horrific experience for anyone who was present, even the events leading up to it. The way in which crucifixion was done, it varied. But what it seems to have been in Jesus' instance was something along the lines of this. A large beam would have been attached to the hands and arms of the one to be crucified. A horizontal beam, if you will. And that is what would be carried to the crucifixion site, where a vertical beam would already be in place in the ground. The vertical beam would not have been terribly high because it would have been too difficult to lift the crucified person and the horizontal beam onto the vertical beam much higher than necessary. And so it was likely that when Jesus was eventually crucified, he was crucified almost at a height that you could stand and look at him eye to eye. Feet elevated just above the ground, nailed to the cross, arms nailed to the horizontal beam itself. And the weight of this horizontal beam would have been unbearable, especially having just been beaten to the extent that Jesus would have been. And so as Jesus marches to the Golgotha, the place of the skull, Calvary, where he'd be crucified, he can no longer stand the weight. And so they pull in this man, Simon, from Cyrene. We know so very little about Simon, other than that he came in from the countryside to see what was happening. And that's where all of this seems to get crazy. This horrific event was not a spectator sport. Simon wasn't there, it seems, to be one to add to the mockery of Jesus. He was there to simply see. But people didn't come to watch crucifixions. They didn't need to. They could pass by the vertical beams placed in the ground any moment that they wanted to and see the crimson stains of blood that dripped down the side. They stood there as a reminder of what happens when you try to overthrow Rome. Why was Simon there? Why was Simon of Cyrene there? Perhaps Simon is there for the same reasons that you and I might want to be. To see their Savior. To see him as he walked by. The guards compel him to now carry the cross for Jesus. To carry the cross that was as much for him as it should have been for me. It almost comes with an echo of Jesus' invitation. Those who would lose their life will gain it. Take up your cross and follow me. But note, it wasn't Simon who was ultimately crucified. Simon may have carried a cross, but it was Jesus' arms, his hands, his feet that were nailed to the cross. Simon just carried it.